Every club.
Every day.
The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Newcastle. I am Iain Mackay and I'm on my own tonight. One or two of the guys have got different things, unexpected things to deal with. And so rather than miss out completely, I have volunteered, and it's hard, but I have volunteered to take another look at the transfer market, however grim it looks for us, because we have to do it, don't we? We have to do it. I'm going to start by looking at our incomings. With the news today that Liverpool have finally signed Hugo Ekitike, that's clearly gone. And still reeling from the news that our cast iron for the last year and a half goalkeeper, James Trafford, coming from Burnley, is actually going to go back to Manchester City because they've got a buyback clause. The story just keeps repeating. However, we're not going to be defeated just yet because Newcastle have made a bid for Yoane Wissa, a rejected bid at 25 million, which I think was definitely them chancing their arm, for the Brentford striker who scored 19 goals last year. And a number of people I've read saying, they're not very inspired. He's too old. I think he's going to be 29 later during the course of the season. But actually, this would be, I think, a very good signing for Newcastle. He is only 6 months older than Callum Wilson was when he joined the club. And we did manage to get 3 years plus an injury hit year out of Callum. And he, 49 goals I think he got for us. He's a bit of a legend. Probably when we look back, certainly through the dark old days he was. So I'm not going to hold Wissa's age against him. The rumours were that Brentford were going to, who've already sold Mbeumo, of course, didn't want to sell Wissa, were going to hold out for 50 million. We bid 25. But I think that figure has been dropped. As I read now, people are talking about maybe 35 to 40 million being able to go to get him. And personal terms are not going to be an issue. So why are we not signing him? Apart from not making a bid for him yet, of course. There's a danger here. I think it would be a good signing. I think it's somebody who we could go and get. I don't think the price is too much, even if there's not a lot of sell-on value. I think the value of his goals over the course of the next 2 to 3 seasons far outweighs the transfer fee. It's all looking rather familiar to me, though, without being too pessimistic. Wissa has come back from his Brentford's pre-season tour to talk to the hierarchy about wanting to move away. I think he wants to play in Champions League, which we can give him. But so could Tottenham. And they haven't made a bid yet. They haven't even made their interest known publicly, I don't think. But this just has smacks of all of those previous deals that have fallen down at the last minute earlier this transfer window. Tottenham in London, which is where he lives anyway, plus now managed by Thomas Frank, who of course is the guy who's brought Wissa to Brentford and given him all of the success and reputation that he's earned over the last 3.5 years. We need to move fast. We need a bid in that's agreed and him signed up before Tottenham can get their ducks in a row and do a similar thing if we're going to get him. I have a horrible feeling we're not. I have a horrible feeling Tottenham will come in and do this and take him away. But that still leaves Newcastle with a long shopping list that are required. As well as a striker, I think we need 2 midfield players. We need 2 centre-backs and a goalkeeper. Just to get the sort of depth of squad that we need for a Champions League campaign and to continue to be challenging in the Premier League, have a good cup run or two. I'm still asking the question. I think I raised this earlier on in the week. Why are we targeting players that the Premier League elite clubs would like to have? And I mean, I'm talking about João Pedro, I'm talking about Ekitike, uh, Mbeumo, Wissa as well is the same. We're not approaching transfers in the same way as we have done. And Newcastle always take a little bit of a chance on some talent that's already been unearthed, but hasn't quite yet been polished. Thinking of when we went and got Bruno, when we went and got Botman, when we went and got Gordon, Tonali, even down to when we went to get Isak out of Sociedad. Lots of people had noticed what good players they were and had talked about maybe signing them. It was Newcastle that went and made the breakthrough and brought them, and we've benefited from that. We've got massive increase in value in all of those players. Why are we not doing that now? Why have we abandoned the tried and trusted and winning methods of the last 3 years in the transfer market to go and get Premier League ready players? I know they're great players, but that's why Manchester City are going to take Trafford away from us. It's why Liverpool have taken Ekitike away from us. It's why Chelsea have taken João Pedro away from us. I just don't understand. I don't understand why we're not looking for the next Botman or the next Bruno in France or Italy or Spain. I know that the journalists and podcasters out there have been looking, and I'm sure there's a long list that started with Scalvini over in Italy of really good centre halves, for example, that look as if they, with the right guidance, we would sure trust Eddie to be able to bring players on, turn into Premier League quality, Champions League quality players. But we're not doing it. Doesn't seem that we're doing it. And I'm baffled by that. I'm baffled. I don't know if it's because there's no sporting director or there's no Amanda and Murdad. If there really is just simply too much in the in tray for Eddie Howe to be able to get on and do things. The poor fella's trying to make all of these negotiations and do the signings whilst also coaching a team and taking them away to Singapore for a fortnight. Got a lot on his plate. Change of tactics needed, please. My fingers are still crossed that we will get Wissa. My gut feel is that we won't. Tottenham will have him because of the Thomas Frank connection. And our hand will be forced to then go and hopefully try and go after some of these inevitable dozens and dozens of gems that Nixon's got in his scouting report from the last 3 years that we can go after and bring in at a lower cost and without the competition. I mean, we almost signed Ekitike 3 years ago because we'd picked up when he was in France what a good player he was. We must have the 2025 equivalent of those guys. We must have. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about any more incomings. There's different rumours, of course, but I think it's all paper talk. I think because Eddie's doing it all, it's just one player at a time, and that player is Wissa at the moment. So with fingers crossed, we'll wait and see. I think we better talk about outgoings in part 2, but first, here's a Bioniq advert.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq, Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Outgoings? Outgoings, I hear you say. Well, I'm not sure we officially recognised that Sean Longstaff left after 18, 19 years at the club. And if we didn't, that's a bad oversight on our part. And we hope Sean has a successful season at Leeds and continues to have a solid Premier League player career. Not really a crowd favourite, but always one of our own. Who can forget his third goal that made us really believe at the start of the second half in that game against Paris Saint-Germain? I think that was the point where I thought we are going to win this. Yes, anyway, thanks for everything, Sean. What other outgoings are there? Well, we don't have one yet. I know we want to. We've been told that we have to trade. Trading is a thing that we're going to have to get used to. And of course, the major outgoing that the media are talking about is Alexander Isak. And it seems that everything this guy does, or the club does in relation to him, is laying fuel to the fire that he must be on the way out. What I've understood from how things are, obviously he was sent home, so he didn't get any aggravation from the Paps whilst he was sitting watching Celtic on Saturday in the first friendly game. Now, earlier this week, pictures were leaked of Alexander Isak training on his own at Benton. And of course, that sent everybody into overdrive. That meant that he's fallen out with Eddie Howe and he's been made to train on his own. And therefore, he's definitely on the way out. The Liverpool fans were largely getting their knickers in a twist about it. The truth is, as reported by the Geordie Journos, well done, Liam, that Isak pulled his thigh on Monday's training, got sent for a scan, nothing wrong particularly, but nevertheless, still a little bit of a tweak on his thigh. And under our new safety first regime that initiated by Paul Bunce and which turned our 57 injuries of the previous season into just 15 or 16 last year, Isak's on the easy list and training on his own, not subjected to training with the group. That seems simple enough. Unfortunately, his agent has been talking in Saudi, saying that all options at the moment are being considered for Alex, and they will come to a conclusion very soon. Now, I'm not really sure what that means, but from somewhere, Isak apparently needs 300,000. He needs his wages to go from 120,000 to 300,000 for him to be interested in signing an extension to his contract at Newcastle. It's difficult to see where you get to 300,000 from when our top earners, Bruno and Gordon, I think, are on 160. Effectively, you're asking nearly double the wages of the current top earner. You couldn't do that without acknowledging a wage increase for the rest of the team, because I don't think they'd want to play in a team where someone was getting paid twice as much as them. Certainly not Bruno, Tonali, Joe Linton. They didn't deserve to do that anyway. It's a bit of a conundrum there. We'll have to see how it plays out over the next few weeks. But I was watching the Magpie channel tonight on their podcast. Hello, Matty. A Liverpool fan sent a message through saying Darwin Núñez, Harvey Elliott, plus £100 million. Would you consider it? Ooh, I tell you what, I would consider it. Darwin Núñez is still the second most expensive striker ever to join the Premier League. And I know the limited times I've seen him play at Newcastle, he's always performed really, really well. Who can forget those 2 goals in the last 10 minutes on a 10-man Liverpool side to turn around our narrow 1-0 home win to a loss? 2 fantastic strikes. Harvey Elliott, star of the under-21s Euro victory. Apparently quite one-footed. But both these players that Liverpool want to get rid of because they haven't quite hit the mark yet, where would they go to if they had months of Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall input in improving them? I think they would be certainly useful additions to the squad. And if there was 100 million came along with it, plus what we've already got, there's a lot of cash there for a couple of centre-backs and a new goalkeeper, and probably enough up our sleeve for any additions required in January, and to give us a good start next summer. So that just made me think. We can get something like that, which when I do the maths, that's at least a £200 million offer. It's not a real offer. It's just a conjecture to see where the actual price is. But let's say it was the British record transfer that Liverpool were going to offer. Say it's 150 million value for Alexander Isak. Next year, if he doesn't sign his new contract, that value comes down. It comes down even if he has a fabulous season, because there's only 2 years on. He just picked up thigh injury. The Alexander Isak of the last 10 games of last season, hobbling around with something wrong with his groin or whatever it was, but clearly not fully fit, certainly not doing the running that we used to him doing, scoring 1 tap in and 2 penalties in those last 10. He's not scoring 20-odd goals in the Premier League next year. So we could keep Alex. He could have more thigh strains and little niggles that makes him have to sit games out, score 11 goals next year, and we find out that actually Liverpool are offering 80 million for him, or something like that. There's a very strong argument to take a leaf out of Liverpool's book when they sold Coutinho, out of Villa's book when they sold Jack Grealish, out of West Ham's book when they sold Declan Rice. Let's rush Isak in. We don't want to play on 300,000 disrupting everybody else, do we? I don't mind a Nunes and Harvey Elliott in the squad, improving all of the time, with enough money to go and get Gahey and Trafford or whoever. Food for thought, I think. Food for thought. Be interested to see what you think about that. I'm probably in the minority when I'm saying it's time to sell him, aren't I? But generally, just if we don't sell him and we give him a new contract and we're paying 300,000, the disruption that will cause to the fantastic team ethic, all for one for all that we have, I think would be really damaging. And by actually biting the bullet, it could transform where this squad is for a Premier League and Champions League campaign this season. I'm very interested to hear what you say. If you want to leave me some comments in the comment section, that's where they're for. That's where you put them, of course. As I say, I'm probably still in the minority, but think outside the box. I think it might be the right time. Anyway, I'm going to give you the Zencastr advert now. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description below to learn more about Zencastr. There we have it. Now, part three is just going to be even more depressing. I am sorry, but it's the transfer window. We are moving slower than a snail with a sore foot. I think that is a foot on the snail, not a foot with toes, but you know what I mean. We're moving so slowly, we still have 6 players that we need to get minimum. maybe after watching them first game, maybe Alex Murphy could be promoted to be a first team squad and be a reserve centre back, a backup for Lewis Hall. I'd rather he played than Target, to be honest, in left back. Anyway, the wider transfer window elsewhere. Can you believe this? All the stories are about the teams that have already spent a fortune, spending more money to strengthen even more. Liverpool apparently are in for Rodrigo. Yeah, from Real Madrid. Um, Chelsea after Xavi Simmons from Leipzig, the Dutchman, and another Dutch centre half from somewhere. I'm not sure where he comes from. PSV, I think. Don't know. Haven't remembered all of my research perfectly, but that's two more players that Chelsea want to buy. Surely there must be players being offloaded at some point by Liverpool and City and Chelsea. I know, by the way, there's talk about Nkunku, if that's the name, from Chelsea, being available for around about 40 million. He's another striker, another big name who's disappointed where he's at, who could actually benefit from some How Tyndall magic and turn into something special. But hey, look, let's lose Wissa before we go after another striker. So these big teams continue to strengthen, and it's annoying. They're just getting further and further away from us, and it's because of their financial muscle. We can't do anything about it. We just have to try and unearth the Bruno, Tonali, etc. type gems to keep pace with them. So when Liverpool's pursuit of Rodrigo doesn't go as well as they hope, brace yourself for them to come back for Gordon, who I believe was very close to joining this time last year. And it's gone very, very quiet, but that's probably because Pep's been on his holidays after the Club World Cup. When he comes back, expect another Isak saga over Tino Livramento, who he's made no secret of that he wants to bring to Manchester City. We need to get Tino Livramento signed up to an extension on his contract. Let's put it out there before City have got a chance to come and turn his head. Thing is, I'm sounding depressed about it because I don't think we will. I think we'll be out playing in Singapore for 2 weeks before anybody thinks about whether we ought to be talking to Tino's agent, who's back in England, and then talking about whether he wants a new contract. And what's the agent going to say? Well, I just want to see what Man City have got to say first. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm sounding depressed. It's because I'm depressed. Hopefully tomorrow we will have more than just sad old me to present this podcast to you. I've been Iain Mackay. This has been the Daily Newcastle Podcast, proud to be part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. Thank you for listening. We'll see you soon.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.